The story opens with Peter, a 27-year-old therapist who specializes in helping people overcome their unhealthy obsessions with sex. Despite the nature of his work, Peter himself has an unusual stance. He claims he's never once felt any sexual desire. During a session with a particularly attractive new client, Peter finds his professionalism tested. The woman attempts to seduce him, whispering provocative words and even offering herself to him. But instead of giving in, Peter calmly hands her a self-help book he wrote, one focused on mastering emotions and finding peace through self-control. Peter's philosophy is simple but radical. He believes sex only clouds judgment and pulls people away from their true purpose. To him, a meaningful life can exist entirely without physical desire. Later that evening, Peter relaxes at home with his close friends, Rich and Luke, two carefree playboys who both have keys to his apartment. Their easy banter reveals their contrasting views on love and lust. Before long, Peter excuses himself, mentioning that Michelle, a friend, has invited him over for dinner, a gesture that hints at something deeper waiting to unfold. It soon becomes clear that Peter harbors quiet feelings for Michelle. When she invites him over for dinner, he arrives with a bottle of wine, only to meet her boyfriend, Charlie, a self-absorbed businessman who's more interested in his phone than the people around him. Inside, Michelle prepares a lavish meal for her guests. When Peter tastes it, he's genuinely delighted and tells her she should open her own restaurant. The idea lights up her face, something she'd never truly considered before. After the gathering, Peter visits his parents. His father quietly tells his wife he's worried about Peter's total lack of sexual interest. He says he wouldn't mind if Peter were gay. It's the absence of attraction that troubles him. Soon after, Peter's self-published book on emotional control unexpectedly takes off. His boss informs him he's been invited to a popular radio show, a major opportunity for both his career and the clinic. That night, Peter runs into Charlie outside Michelle's room. Charlie admits he and Michelle broke up. His work obsession drove her away. Once he leaves, Peter comforts a tearful Michelle, holding her gently. Determined to move on, Michelle decides to chase her dream of becoming a chef. Peter urges her to follow her heart. Touched, she impulsively kisses him. But he doesn't respond. Instead, he's hit with another sharp headache and leaves abruptly. These headaches, it turns out, hint at something deeper. The next morning, Luke and Rich convince Peter to join a basketball game. A stray ball hits him in the groin, knocking him out. At the hospital, scans reveal an abnormality. Peter's testicles are unusually small, finally explaining his lack of desire. The doctor reveals the truth. A tumor has been pressing against Peter's pituitary gland for years, blocking testosterone production and flooding his system with prolactin. In short, he never went through puberty, despite being 27. The revelation reframes everything: his disdain for sex, his books on emotional control. It all stemmed from biology, not willpower. There's hope. Surgery can remove the tumor and restore his hormones. Relieved, Peter agrees. The operation succeeds. During recovery, he tests his new body, flipping through adult magazines, but still feels nothing. The next day, his mischievous friends drop by with a stripper to jumpstart him. It doesn't work, but the following morning, Peter wakes with his first ever erection. His stunned parents celebrate, joking that their son has finally hit puberty at 27. Reinvigorated, Peter returns to his apartment, only to find Luke waiting with another woman. Fed up, Peter kicks them out and retreats to the bathroom, where he finally experiences self-pleasure for the first time. From that day, Peter becomes fascinated, even addicted, to his newfound desires, exploring emotions he's never known. Meanwhile, Michelle excitedly tells him she's leaving for a week to compete in a major cooking contest. If she wins, she'll earn a spot at a prestigious Los Angeles restaurant. Peter is genuinely happy for her, though her absence leaves him quietly longing. At work, things grow more complicated. During a session, a patient's story unexpectedly arouses him, something that has never happened before. Alarmed, Peter consults his doctor, who explains that his body is simply catching up. Because puberty arrived 15 years late, his hormones are now surging all at once. The desires, emotions, and impulses most people experience as teenagers are hitting him full force now. Mood swings, sudden urges, and even changes in his voice are all part of the process. The doctor reassures him it's temporary and that things will soon level out. Later, Peter calls Michelle to check in about the competition. But when she casually mentions another man, Peter feels a sharp sting of jealousy. His first taste of another emotion that comes with growing up. The confusing, uncontrollable mix of desire and attachment. The following day, Peter appears on a live radio show to discuss his best-selling book. But mid-interview, his voice cracks and deepens without warning, cutting the session short. Embarrassed yet bewildered, he returns home that night and confides in his parents about the bizarre changes he's experiencing. Instead of scolding him, his father laughs, thrilled to finally see his son go through what every teenager does. "I've been waiting 15 years for him to do that," he jokes, proud and relieved. As days pass, Peter's hormones surge uncontrollably. His once calm demeanor begins to crumble under waves of desire. A friendly neighbor suggests he join Tinder to gain some experience before getting serious with Michelle, so he won't let her down. Peter takes the advice too literally. Soon, he's spending nearly every night with different women, chasing experiences he's never had. One day, while heading to see Michelle, Peter runs into Charlie outside her building. Charlie admits he came to apologize for neglecting her and offers a bouquet of flowers as a peace gesture. Peter volunteers to deliver them, but once Michelle opens the door, he claims the flowers as his own gift. Grateful and touched, Michelle thanks him, unaware of the lie. Their reunion goes well enough that Peter nervously asks her out to dinner, and she agrees. But that same night, his friend Rich reminds him he promised to babysit his son. Caught between responsibility and desire, Peter chooses Michelle, infuriating Rich. That evening, Peter and Michelle arrive at a nearly impossible-to-book upscale restaurant. She's impressed, thinking Peter pulled strings. But the truth hits fast. Rich and his wife show up, revealing that Peter took Rich's reservation, assuming he wouldn't show. Rich confronts him, revealing that Peter bailed on babysitting, leaving Luke to cover. Humiliated, Michelle stands to leave. As she checks her phone, a message from Charlie thanks her for the flowers he sent. And the truth hits. Peter not only betrayed Rich, but also lied to her. Without another word, she walks out, leaving him to face the consequences. The next day, Peter crosses a line at work when a patient describes her fantasies. Overcome by desire, he begins to undress, but his boss bursts in, catching him. Peter is immediately suspended. Weeks pass, and Peter spirals, consumed by his uncontrollable urges. He turns to his father, confessing his confusion. His father listens and explains that temptation is part of being human, but what defines a man is facing it honestly. He advises Peter to speak from the heart in his next interview. The following day, Peter takes his father's advice. On air, he admits that his best-selling book was wrong, confessing that for years he felt nothing until now. He shares his understanding of sex as a natural and meaningful part of life. The audience applauds his honesty. Peter then apologizes to Rich, who forgives him. And with Luke's encouragement, Peter sets out to make things right with Michelle. At her restaurant, Michelle is dining with Charlie. Peter lays bare his story, the medical condition, the years missed, and the lessons learned. Moved by his sincerity, Michelle ends things with Charlie and kisses Peter. In the final moments, they're happier than ever. Michelle pregnant, Peter working with children, and writing a new book, embracing the beauty and chaos of growing up. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell icon for more.